Welcome in. Robert Imbriali here. Thank you for joining SBG News and Views. I got to tell you, this is the highlight of my day, to be able to come here and share and spend some time with all of you. I appreciate all the notes Lewis and I receive on a daily basis now, literally, from so many of you who are thanking us for putting on this show and the effort that we put into it. We have prepared a show for you today that is probably different than maybe what we've been talking about, a little less on the politics side, a little less on the current events side, but equally important. Now, what are we talking about? Well, your health, obviously. Here's a sort of an overarching theme, if you will, of health is, you know, you look at Big Pharma and you get all upset about Big Pharma, Big Pharma, Big Pharma. And you say, okay, so why are they the way they are? And there's a part of it that was you and I who created that. And you say, well, what do you mean? What are you talking about? I don't want to take responsibility for that. Well, we did, because we refused or chose not to take responsibility for our own health. So what we did is we went to the doctors and we went to the pharmaceutical companies and we said, we don't want to deal with this. We're eating bad. We're not exercising. We're doing all these crazy things. Now we've got this disease. Give me the answer. Give me the solution. So they did. And they come up with these solutions that really aren't solutions. So we're going to dig into that today. We're going to dig a lot deeper into how this all works, how it plays out, how you can put the power back in your hands. Remember, we the people, right? So this is the same as in the politics. We want to be the ones to be in charge and be in control of all this stuff. It's easy to give it and pass it off the responsibility to somebody else, but you can see how that works, right? I can tell you from firsthand experience, when you hand off healthcare to the government, it's a bad thing. They didn't have the tools they needed to help me. They said, if you're in the United States, you could get them, but we don't have it here because we can't pay for it. So when you hand off the responsibility to other people, they don't care about you as much as you care about you. In the end, no matter what you do, it's going to be up to you. So we have two great guests on today. Dr. Leyla Ali joins us today, and she was in the pharmaceutical industry for a very long time. And then she started to see things and she started to recognize this isn't working. We're not healing people. Band-Aid solutions, that's not the answer. And the other guest we have on here, the wonderful, the amazing, you're going to love his hair. Lance Shuttler's here from Ascent Nutrition. Love this guy. He's very, 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 very intelligent, very, very well informed. And he's going to drop in the... My co-host is making signs in the back here. Let me introduce you to Lewis Herms, my co-host. Lewis, how are you doing today, buddy?
How you doing?
I'm doing okay.
I'm doing all right myself.
So what was that? What was those signs when I said Lance is very intelligent?
When you say he's very intelligent, I go.
I know. I saw that. I'm like, wait a minute.
or like my wife would say, is he now?
The answer there is yes. Yeah. He impresses me every time I have a conversation with him. He impresses me.
Yeah. He's pretty damn smart. Yeah, him and Leyla are amazing individuals. We're so blessed to have both of them on today. I think they'll play off each other pretty well. Leyla, give me the thumbs up if that's your computer and not your phone.
Yeah, all good.
So we got it figured out. Cool. Awesome. So, yeah, I'm very, very excited. I'm going to have an announcement about halfway in today, so make sure you guys stand by for that.
Are you running for president? I mean...
No, it's not good news, actually. Something's pretty heavy on my heart that I think I need to address.
Okay.
And it will go along with the distractions that are inherent in this war. And, you know, we need to take accountability for it when we slip. And that's what I believe I've done. So as somebody that I call myself a leader, I need to address this to make sure that people are aware that we're all vulnerable and susceptible to these actions of the spiritual realm. Let's just call it that.
Yeah. I've been saying that for a while now. People will look at somebody's background in politics and poo-poo them because 20 years ago they did or said something. And I'm like, we can't do that anymore. Now we just have to look at current. Are they current? Are they doing what's right currently? Because we all change, we all grow. So kudos. Let's get into that. Where would you like to start today? We have two amazing guests. Do you want to bring on Dr. Ali first, and then we'll...
Yeah. Do we have 4 screen today or no?
We have 3 screens today.
3 screens.
Yeah.
Okay. because I'd like to bring them on together if possible, Robert,
Yeah.
because I believe the conversation between each other would be great. Layla, have you met Lance? Lance, have you met Layla?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Through
good.
you, Lewis. Through you.
Yes,
Uh,
it's that seems to be my specialty.
In
Yeah,
Florida. We met in Florida.
yep. Down
Oh,
in the where was it? Fort Lauderdale, or is down around that area back last year.
Florida. Cool. Could have been St. Pete. I'm not sure. What do we know? Well, was it the New Year's Eve
No,
special?
uh, no, it was not that one. Um,
I it was Fort Lauderdale. I went to St. Petersburg too, or St.
yeah.
Okay, cool, cool. And Robert, since I already mentioned that, why don't you talk about our New Year's Eve special coming up? For you that don't know, you go, what? Coming up?
Yeah, coming up March 31st, we're going to have another Truthathon. And we know how popular these are. And I've already had people asking, hey, can I be on it? Can I be on it? Just hearing about it in the ethers, right? Because we haven't really talked a whole lot about it. But it's one of our favorite things to do. And it is a ton of work on the back end. But we love it. And what ends up happening is we have thousands of viewers, more than 100,000 views is not uncommon for these. And we have an average of 30 different guests during the day. And it's just a phenomenal way to get a lot of different input, a lot of different information, a lot of different perspectives in one vast chunk. And people hang out all day. They hang out in the chat room. They spend time with us, and we certainly enjoy it. So we're looking forward to that. That'll be on March 31st to celebrate the new year.
Yes, in the new year, if anybody know, we're on a fake Gregorian 12-month calendar, and we'll prove once again that it is absolutely fake.
Yep.
So it'll be a lot of fun, and probably go at least 10 and 12 hours like we always do, and it'll be good times, good times. All right.
Always.
So let's bring our guests, and let's start with Layla, because Layla, there's a product out there that I know you have a lot of passion in exposing, and that is Ozempic. And people aren't getting the truth from the people that are promoting that. Would you agree?
I mean, yeah, it definitely has the hype of something new and exciting for weight loss, and people are getting good effects, but the side effects it can be really long term. You know, that it
Right.
slows down your it causes gastroparesis, which is slowing down the stomach. I mean, it slows down digestion. You know, that's got to be good food, a bad idea to slow down food to digestion, right? It's going to rot in the stomach, but people are getting paralyzed in the stomach, and then it doesn't process at all. So again, something with all the hype, you got to look at the side effects, and they're kind of coming out slowly. I guess when people get higher doses quicker, then they seem to have more problems as well.
Hmm.
But there's all the hype because they do see the weight loss. But
Right, right. Now, wasn't this originally a medicine for diabetes? By the way, Layla's background is she's a pharmacist, so she's got a lot of credibility in this area. Well, wasn't Ozempic considered a diabetes medicine, or am I off base on that?
no, they're still using it for diabetes. But like Viagra was originally for the heart, right? And they found it had good side effects, so they started marketing it for that then. But yeah, they're still using it for it. And again,
Wow.
diabetes is something we're going to take on too, because that's something that people stay sick with and side effects for years. You can reverse it in a month sometimes.
Yep.
I mean, it's so ridiculous how people are suffering and struggling with diabetes. Like I said, they're gonna look back on this time and just go, "Oh my God, what are these people doing?" And
Yeah, it's interesting enough. I actually worked with an organization, and I in part trained 300 actual doctors on how through nutrition diabetes can be gone within a month. So it's funny that you said within a month. And the results we had were phenomenal. And I think what they had there in their technology or their knowledge was basic compared to what we know now. So it's just been hidden from us. Now, in regards to Ozempic, I also heard that and this is passionate for me because I used to own fitness clubs. Are you losing muscle by taking this?
I believe you are too. I don't know the exact numbers on it, but I know it's not all, you know, I should have looked that up before I came. But they
It's
do
fun.
not the best. They're using fat and muscle. But I mean, people that lose like 80 pounds, they lose a lot of weight on it. So,
Right.
but yeah, the side effects are what's going to beat
Yeah.
people up.
And I'm concerned because I have dear friends of mine that have taken it. And I can tell you, based on what my wife says and what other people says, the alternative to that, which seems to be very, very powerful, is berberine. And I know you're a friend of my wife, and you actually said you recommended that to her friend instead of Ozempic, correct?
Yeah, correct. A natural alternative. And again, all these ones that have the hype, they take something out of nature and they alter it.
Hmm.
But people are having, and gosh, maybe Lance should take over from here because I know he's the product. And
No, I was going to go to him next. And
oh, okay.
and folks, this is not about selling. This is just knowledge right now. So Lance, giving us an idea of what you have found, because I know you see, for example, if people know, Lance travels the world searching for the best stuff, and he has incredible knowledge. So what did you find out about berberine?
Yeah, thanks, Lewis. So berberine, it's a compound that comes from different plants. So goldenrod, Oregon grapefruit, golden seal, and the basic thing around it is they call it the master metabolic switch, or it activates the master metabolic switch, which is the AMPK pathway. So, what that means is adenosine monophosphate activated protein kinase. And that is basically something that stimulates digestion and regulates metabolism and, improves the insulin resistance and really just helps people in that way. And, I worked for a company some years ago called Natural Grocers. A lot of people might have heard of them. They're similar to a Whole Foods, a health food store chain, Mountain West, Midwest. And every quarter we would do a nutrient to know about. And berberine, we did it a couple times over the few years that I was there. And there's so much research on it, and people really got dramatic effects from it. People would come back, keep coming back in and buying it, and share how they would feel better brain health from it because they just feel sharper, but also that they did have those sort of weight loss effects, not dramatic where they're just, dumping a huge amount of pounds, overnight, but it definitely does regulate metabolism and helps with that process in general.
Beautiful. And Leyla, and the protocols that were used and so on and so forth, you've helped so many people with that. What is your number one concern right now in the medical or slash pharmaceutical industry? What do you see that just is like a huge red flag that you would like people to know about?
You want just one?
Yeah, go three. We have all day.
Yeah, all day. I'm like, I mean, it's still like there's so few of us that really see it. Like it's just like when you're in your world surrounded by people that are on the right side, you forget there's a whole world out there that are just want the drugs that are covered on insurance, So we just have a long way to go. And you're talking about diabetes too. You're talking about spell casting, right? If you go on the website, start reading about it, you learn how they just really kind of, tell you how to think about it, how to feel about it, everything, so all the language they use. But we just have
So wait, real quick, let me stop you.
uh,
Are you saying big pharmakia is actually spell casting and convincing us of something that's not true? Is that possible?
oh my gosh, I would not say. Well, I guess I did. Yes.
Okay. Well, stand by. I got to get my tinfoil hat. Okay. I'm protected from your rhetoric right now.
Oh man, we all need one of those. That's amazing. But yeah, it's just so deep. Like I tell people, it's like, people expect lawyers to be a little fraudulent, but pharmacy's so much deeper in every way, And so it's just a big Goliath. But more people are waking up and it's positive and they want to know, and I feel like if people understand what drugs do, then they'll start looking. They once they understand they're going to keep you sick for years and keep you as a good customer, then they'll be open to new things. Right now it's like, well, this medication is covered on insurance. Why would I go do acupuncture?
Mhm.
Why would I get a vitamin that's not covered on insurance? This one's $10. So we just have a big mindset to dig out of the hole. And we're taking steps to do it. You
Well,
know,
yeah, well, that's a good segue, actually. And I was going to bring this up later, but you're taking steps to do it. You've created a program that I believe is free, God bless you, called Deprescribing, right?
yeah, yeah.
Can you tell us about that?
Deprescribing, we're doing it every week on Mondays at 11, and is basically showing people alternatives. And I was teaching that for a telemedicine group the last year, and so I've been studying this stuff on my own for years. You know, I have my book that I wrote in 2012 called Off Balance: The American Way of Health: The Pharmacist's Perspective on Why Drugs Don't Work. And so for everything, you know, we're going to say this is how diabetes is handled in Western medicine. You know, if you have diabetes in Western medicine, you're gonna be on medications the long term. You're still gonna get the side effects, and this disease is still gonna progress. You know, so you're just gonna be staying comfortable. It's gonna suppress symptoms until your body can't do it anymore. Then you're gonna have organ failure. You're gonna have all kinds of problems. So basically, scare them from that and show them that you can reverse it in a month. And that's when there's allergies people are sick with for years. Chronic fatigue, all kinds of pain. If you're in pain, you're going to be on narcotics. We're going to show what other types of pain there are. And we're going to have some really great guest speakers too. And we actually have Don Milton going to do a healing. He does EFT, emotional freedom technique, which is tapping to get rid of stuck emotions. So he's going to give a healing session this next Monday. So we're going to, you know, and we just started about a month ago, and I'm excited to see where it's going to go. I think people really enjoy this and kind of just start sharing the information.
And now, is this a Zoom call?
It's a Zoom call. If people want to sign up, they can get on my email list on drleylaalli.com. Oh yeah, there's my flyer. Thank you.
Yep. drleylaalli.com. And Leyla, this is it interactive, or you're talking to them?
No, it's interactive. I mean, we talk and then we take breaks for chats and like that.
Okay.
But then we also have a recording.
That is awesome. Guys, the reason why I asked the question, which I thought I had the answer to, which you know, God bless me, I got it right for once. But this is huge. I don't know if people understand this. You have an opportunity to spend time with an expert, Dr. Leyla and Don Milton, which is a great guy. We've had him on our show a couple times, at no cost, where you can interact and really change your life. I mean, to me, this is a huge, huge gift. So, Leyla, say your website again, and folks, we'll make the flyer available for you also. And we'll probably mention this a couple times during the show. You may ask, why do I promote Leyla so much? You know why? Because Leyla comes from the heart. Layla's not looking to grab your money, and Leyla wants to make a difference. So this is why I do this. And Robert is passionate about what Leyla does also, and my wife is good friends for her, because my wife only connects with people that are extraordinarily honest. Just so if you want to know, so you get a huge nod from my lovely wife. So guys, what's your website again?
It's Dr. LeylaAlli.com.
Great. And no, she never was a boxer. So,
I quit that to do this. Yeah.
Yes. Now I'm going to get back to something else you do later. Lance, you said you wanted to talk about something. I said, don't tell me. Just tell everybody else, right?
Yes. So, okay, this goes off of healthcare, okay? And this is going to talking about politics, geopolitics, world politics, and the cabal and what has been going on this planet for a long time. So those who have read the intelligence drops, from the previous years, we were told that the first arrest was going to shock the world. All right. You guys all remember that too. And so, we've all speculated on this, I'm sure, in different ways and different times. And, I've thought about it since that time, reading those posts. And back last or early fall, you guys, I was sitting there and I was just thinking about just taking a big step back. And I thought, okay, who is going to be the first arrest? Who's going to be the first arrest that shocks the world? And I was thinking about it from, you could call it a game theory angle, but really just looking at a chessboard, okay? And at that time, and even more so now, there's fewer pieces left on the board. So I was thinking, okay, who is nameworthy enough to actually shock the world if they were to be arrested? So back at that time, I came up with a list of maybe about 10, 12 people at most. And, I'll name some of those. So if you think, me personally, you guys, like, yes, I care about the 2024 election, but I care about it way less than what happened in 2020, because we have to fix that first before we can even, in my view, even have any inkling of thought of what's going to happen or where we're going to go after this. We have to fix the problem. So again, if the information comes out from a political angle or even from within the US, and it might, this is all just speculation, but it would almost look like it's a political job and it's one side going after the other, and like Trump's got his hand in this somehow. He's taken down the government. See, he's orange man bad, all this stuff. But if you go to a religious figure outside of the country, outside of politics, it's sort of then like it gives the green light for the military and the good people in politics and in the government here in the US to then take action, because it was a foreign interference that came out having nothing to do with politics. So I think it makes sense in some ways. We'll see what happens, but it was a fun little thing that I wanted to bring up to just kind of speculate who is that going to be, because it really only can be a certain number of people, and maybe it will be someone we've never heard of, but I don't think that's really going to shock the world.
Well, my first choice was Arsenio Hall, but I mean, we'll go away from that. But yeah, my only guy for a long time has been the Pope, and so it's interesting that we're symbiotic. I don't
Awesome,
think
Louis.
it's a coincidence that I got a text message while you were talking that said check your email, and because seemed like it was urgent, I looked and it says Pope in the subject line, just Pope, P-O-P. That's it.
Wow.
I'm like, okay, this is crazy. And what you didn't know, when you're talking about the CIA, I mean, you were talking about the satellite that moved the information over to the Vatican. Then it went to one place and then came right back to the United States, right? There's a video that went pretty viral where myself and Chansley were on the steps of the Capitol. The unknown part of that is towards the end of it. I actually mentioned that live, that don't worry guys, go home, relax, we've got it all. In fact, da 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 da. So nobody ever talks about that part, right? So that just makes me a whack job. So it's interesting that you mentioned it. This is a fun topic, but I'm with you on the Pope because it just makes so much sense for so many reasons. So cool. I love getting a little different perspectives going here. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome, Louis.
That's cool. So, Lance, we have a pathological epidemic with using the allopathic medical industry, in my opinion. And to me, the sickness is our attachment to what we call a standard medical industry. That's the true sickness. That's the mental illness that we have because we believe these doctors and the pharmaceutical companies have our best interest in mind.
Why didn't you talk about it?
So I find that's a concern because I still see, and my wife sees it all the time, that people are locked into that matrix. Even family members of ours, that a little thing happens and they go, well, I got to go see the doctor. I'm like, no, you don't. You change your nutrition, have a supplement, breathe correctly, get some exercise, stop thinking negative. Let's go to the positive, manifest, pray. And they're just like, sure, let me go talk to the doctor and see if he prescribes one of those things. It's just wacky out there. What's your take on the I call it the big psyop that is called the medical industry and the brainwashed public, to be honest with you?
Yeah. Well, you know my thoughts, Lewis, and I'll share specifically what it is that clearly there is a lot of corruption. We all know that, but let's look at it from a very basic angle and just financially to begin with. So if you think about healthcare companies, and how that ties into pharmaceuticals and just the whole thing, but healthcare at the top, those that are supplying the healthcare insurance and things like that, the insurance in particular, these companies, who are their people that they have to please and make good with? It's their stockholders. And how does that happen? They have to make money. How do they make money? They have to keep getting more uh, patients and more subscribers to their system. And how do you do that? You keep them on the medications and keep them coming back and back, and basically, starting from there, and then work your way down to where you're setting up the education for the doctors and the whole system, where they themselves believe this too, that, oh, the pharmaceuticals are the only way. This is the only way. Standard of care medicine, that's always thrown around. Standard of care. What does that even mean? Well, there's technical terms, but it's their system of doing their regimented protocols with their pharmaceuticals and not stepping outside of that. And if you do, as a nurse or a practitioner of any sort, you can lose your license if you step outside of standard of care. And so it really, it's the whole system, as we know. Everything's been set up in that way. But I think it begins really at the insurance level, because so many people do have insurance or are part of something like that, where the system's just set up for them to make money. It's not for them to actually treat and cure people. Now, we know, of course, there's many good doctors out there in the system that are trying to do the right thing and are trying to wake people up. And that's been accelerating over the previous few years for sure. But it really does begin with us, because we aren't going to go and change Pfizer per se. Like, we aren't going to go and convince them, hey, you need to change up your whole business model just to fit our needs. They aren't going to do that. Their stockholders won't let them. So it has to begin with we the people, and where that begins is education. Because just like you said, Lewis, someone gets sick or something small, the average thought is, oh, I got to go to my doctor. But what if they have the knowledge that, oh, I can do this or do these few things, and this can actually be a treatment, and I don't have to pay that sort of money and get sucked into their system? Because we all know, and Leyla, you especially know this, that once you get into their system, they do not want to let you out. And even if they're somewhat happy with the results that these pharmaceuticals are getting, they're going to always make sure that they're checking up on you. And if anything goes off of baseline, well, we need to do another test. We need to give you this medication. And it's just this endless loop that you get stuck in. And so it's like, we've seen this, and I know that you guys have said this many times, especially over the past 4 years, the worst place that we could have gone or that we could be in for health is go to a hospital. They're trying to put people on vent.
I think it's interesting that the Rockefeller healthcare system teaches less than 5% in nutrition, but we know 95% of our ailments come from nutrition, which is interesting, because that dichotomy, that difference, is exactly the black and white Freemason split, right? So you're learning 5% of something you should learn 95% of, and you're ignoring 95% of that you should learn 5% of. Exactly opposite. So now I have a two-part question for both of you. One, so Lance, you mentioned that in essence, Big Pharma's masters would be their shareholders, correct?
Yeah. In general, of course, we know they serve higher masters.
Well,
but,
I'm gonna get to that actually. So yes, so they're masters of the shareholders. So first part of the question is, who is the master of the FDA that supposedly controls them? And I know the FDA is the security force for Big Pharma, but who is the master of the FDA? Second part, and this is for both of you guys, why is there so much satanic symbolism in the medical industry? Leyla, let's have you take it first. So first part is who controls the FDA? Who do they answer to? right? Because they seem like they're the security force of big pharma. And the second question is, why do we see so much satanic imagery with inside the medical industry?
Those are big questions, and I think it's all the same answer. I mean, it's all the same party running everything, right? And like Lance said, the masters are all the same people. And you said the satanic imagery, you're talking about the snakes.
Yeah, that's just one of a few. They have a lot of symbolisms that equal 666. And not even going into what the Red Cross is about.
I don't know. We didn't learn all those symbols in pharmacy school.
Of course not.
So, but yeah, I know it's all just one big party. There's a book they were talking about how people that work for the FDA, work for the drug companies, like it's one big family, putting on a show, and they get a new drug out, and once it's out on the market, I know we talk about this. Once it's on the market, then they start marketing it, and they have the whole sales system. And for every dollar they spend in marketing, they make 2 to 4 in profit. And so they'll do the bare minimum of testing and just get it out there. So it's just one big game. It's so much worse than people think. And just to talk about what Lance was talking about too, we really have to take care of ourselves. You can't rely on the hospitals. If you have cellulitis, you go to the hospital, they'll put you on 3 drugs, and you could be stuck in there. And then one of the drugs, the vancomycin, will knock out your kidneys and cause problems. If you take care of yourself, if you know about oregano, chlorine dioxide, colloidal silver on your own, you have to take care of yourself on your own. If you go to the if you go in the hospital, you're in that trap, and things that could just be treated and prevented spend 2 months in the hospital sick. So you really have to be proactive these days and not trust the doctors or the hospital. So just continuing on that. So, but on the symbolism, I don't know too much about it. I know the snakes part of the game, and I think you could probably tell us more about that, Lewis.
Cool. Lance, FDA and satanic symbolism, which, by the way, could be synonymous.
Yeah, I think it is. So who controls, who's pulling the strings at the FDA? I don't know the answer, obviously, but I would think it's probably people in the shadows, and even the top dogs at the FDA. They probably are aware of many things, I'm sure, but I think even they themselves are probably left out of the loop of, okay, what is actually going on? Who is actually getting the money? Because they need to pay their bills too, and many of these people they've got their jobs, they're wanting to make money, of course they want to get rich off this, and they're doing that, but in some regards it's just a money game for some of them, and some of them it might not necessarily be that they're coming from an evil perspective, but that it's more just like, well, this is the way the system works, I'm not going to overthrow it, I'm one person already in the system. If I try to do something, they're going to get rid of me, or they're going to do something worse. So I'll just play the game. I'll make my money, get my pension, and walk away. Now, I think there is clearly an evil part where there are evil people within there, and they know exactly what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that those are the people that serve their higher masters. And I think that would definitely be, people within secret societies, and probably names that we don't even know, or names that we do know, probably intermingled with that. And then on the satanic side, I think it's just really everything that they do. You invert everything, make everything the opposite. It's not even, twist it a little bit. You do the opposite. So we're going to tell you that we're going to help you.
Yeah. And if people research the history of the names that they use for pharmaceutical drugs, many of them are attachments to old mythological gods that did very evil things. So this is the kind of a game that they play within this. Leyla, so you have an amazing program called Deprescribing. You're a published author with fantastic reads. But don't you do something else on the side a little bit?
Yeah, but real quick, I just want to jump in before we get to that. But I think people should see this continuing education we get as pharmacists and doctors, because a lot of them think that all this info. I didn't know any of it until I got out of the whole matrix. And you'd be some of those, you can read them, but they're so bad. But
No, that's great too, because the reality is that's kind of where I went with the Rockefeller system, is it's all an illusion. So they teach you what they want you to know, and they intentionally keep you shrouded away from what they
Right.
don't want you to know. And but then they position you as the authority. So they know exactly what they're doing, right? It's
Yep.
great.
Yep. Because
It's
if people think pharmacists know this stuff, they don't. Especially if they're A students, forget it, right? Because they followed all
That's a
the.
great point. That is a great point. If they're A students, forget it, because they're all about memorization.
I was a B minus right here, so yeah.
Congratulations. Congratulations on your low grade. That means you're
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. It means I didn't make sense. But
That's
yeah, I do have a comedy show tonight. So like the last time we did something with Lewis, I had a hair appointment. So these are just becoming amazing days. So
my wife
comedy.
my wife does her hair, and she's gonna go, why didn't you brush it? Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do this? She's gonna be all over you after
I
the
was
show.
I was trying to fix it perfect, but
I
it's a lot of
think
anxiety knowing she's going to see me. You know what I mean? A lot
exactly.
of pressure.
Well, I think you
I
look
want to
amazing.
represent well. Right?
I know. I think you look amazing. So tonight you have a comedy show.
Yeah, comedy show at a wine bar in Long Beach. So I don't know
Awesome.
if anybody's out here. I
And
think most of your
Layla
audience.
she is so funny. She's a riot. I watched some of her videos. I will be going to a show near me soon. But yeah, so that's right. Layla has another talent. Um,
Got to balance it out, the serious stuff, you know.
right. Well, let me get into something serious, because I told people I had something was heavy on my heart and I would discuss it. So that's an interesting segue. Um, in fact, I have a distraction in my office that I cannot have right now. No. Oh, sorry. Um, so here's what's going on. I've got four friends, three I would consider very close, and one a friend. And they're in a battle right now where two of them are very concerned about what the other two have done. And I think they have legitimate concerns, by the way. Um, but I think it's been taken over the top, and it's been absorbing my energy for 2 weeks with these conversations, these late night conversations, these 2 hour conversations over and over and over, because I'm trying to prevent a battle from happening. By the way, it's in this community, right? I'm working on a unity project. So the last thing we need is another public outing, which some may be necessary and some clearly are not. And there's some private things going on too, which some turmoil between these people. And it hit me today that, and this is where I want to be authentic and vulnerable to everybody listening. I'm acting out of my own space, because my first advice when I deal with this type of drama is take a deep breath, address it, and then let it go. Move on, right? And because it's an energy sucker. My wife and I had, from some people that are very connected, I think, in the, let's just call it spiritually, have told us flat out that within your circle, you are going to have people completely attacked. And one of the reasons why is because the goal is to distract you from what you're doing. You won't go through too many direct demonic attacks, they said. They said, but people that you really care about around your circle are going to go through a lot. They're going to go through divorces, which have happened wholesale. I've never seen anything like this. They're going to go through problems with their families, and they're going to go through things they're going to distract you. And what really hit my heart here is the two people I care about that really are upset with these other two people are the ones that are pulling my energy, ironically, even though I think they're both in the right. So I'm now going to make a public apology to my audience because I need to focus on this community of we the people first. And I have not been taking my own advice because of my love for my friends. And that is incorrect. So I'm outing myself, even though nobody knows about this. Hopefully, this will be a lesson for people out there so they understand that there are major distractions out there. This is a spiritual battle that we are in. And we need to take a deep breath and be aware. And these distractions are coming from two lovely people that think they have the best interest of what's going on in mind. But it's completely derailed me. So that being said, I'm going to come off the scenes for 3 days. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I may or may not read the telegram. I probably won't respond. I'll have my prayer post in there, and I'll have another post in there that probably just reminds people that I won't respond because I need to get back to work without distractions because I need to honor we the people who I love so much. So I just think I needed to get that off my chest. I appreciate you guys letting me take the time here to do so.
Awesome, Lewis. That's great. Thank you for doing that.
So it's hard for me not to cry because this has been really weighing on me. Pretty heavy. And these are friends that are putting this in my way, and this is what's really, really upsetting because they don't understand. So, whew. Sorry for the distraction, guys. I thought it was important because we are in a spiritual battle and we need to know what's in front of us and what surrounds us in our energies. It's very important because we will win, but we cannot get distracted. All right. Well, another distraction of great hair, Lance Shuttler. Well, you know what? You've been working on so many amazing things. And here's what's really cool about Lance. So I started working with Lance a while ago when my friend Michael Jaco introduced me to you. And Lance figured out probably within the first conversation, oh, God, this guy's going to be a pain in the ass, which is fine because I am. And it's because the standards are so high for we the people that it's really hard for me to make a decision to jump on any product or do anything like that. And Lance was so gracious in the time that he spent with me, showing me that he has the same consciousness towards we the people as I do, and now involved with Robert does. So Lance travels the world searching for the absolute best he can put in his product, and then brings that product down to a price that is as affordable as it can be. And some people it's not always affordable, but it's not by lack of trying. I can tell you that. It just happens to be these are the best herbs you can get or oils or whatever it is. So Lance, give us an idea of what you've been working on lately, because I know you are always working in the background to make humanity better.
Yeah, thank you, Lewis. Thanks for all that. And, for the record too, and I really mean this, that when you were asking me all those questions, I loved it because I want to know, like people that I'm, wanting to work with or vice versa, I want to know that they care. And the first thing, or one of the first easy things to tell if they actually care is, are they listening? Do they ask questions? And how deep do their questions go? And you were asking very, very great questions, and all the questions that should be asked, and the questions that are asked to vet. And you did that. And I actually really enjoyed it because this is why, or part of why I got into this and wanted to create Ascent Nutrition, is to create products that are separate and different from others. I'll come back to the nutritional stuff. You asked at the end, Lewis, what are things that I'm working on that are helping we the people? So I'm going to spare the specifics at the moment, but I would love to come back on in due time when the time is right. Where I live, I'm going to keep this, private for now. but where I live, there is massive, massive corruption happening on the town level or city level. And I can just tell you that I am doing things, and there are other people that are doing things that we will be doing what we can to hold them accountable. And at minimum, we will be exposing them for what they're doing. And I'm like, Lewis, I don't waste my time on things that it's small little things. Like if there's nothing there, I'm not going to waste my time on it. I'm a personal witness to several things that have happened, and I can tell you guys, these are crimes. These are massive crimes, and it's not just like me getting passionate and saying you're corrupt or whatever. I'm a witness to things that are absolutely disgusting for us Americans and where I live, and in particular, some particular people, on the way that these people have been treated. And so, I'm kind of giving a little preface here that we will be moving forward on different things, and I'll share those details when the time is right. But I've been putting a lot of time and effort into that because the people that are affected by this, first and foremost, are great humans, and they're great Americans, and they're examples of what we should be as, helping the community, helping our fellow neighbors. And I can see it, and you guys are doing this. When you see something, you say something or you do something. And I can tell you there's a lot of people around it who've seen it, but they're just backing off because they say, well, the city, they're too powerful, they got the lawyers, they got all this, there's nothing I can do. That's bullshit. Those people want you to think that because they know that if you get a mob of even 20 neighbors, and you go and bring this to the city council, they don't want to see that. They do not want to see numbers. And that's what this is all about, is we, the people organizing on a local level, state level, federal, everything that you guys are doing and that we're all doing to come together to bring truth and justice. And this really is about justice. It's not, these are not small things that I'm talking about. There are things that have been committed, you guys, where people should be in prison for what they've done. And I do not say that lightly. So I've been spending a lot of time on that, educating myself in a lot of different ways. And even if they would see this right now, it wouldn't matter because what's coming, they can't see it.
Yeah, I agree. And go to rememberyouroath.com because we are actually organizing this army that Lance is talking about to help do exactly what he's saying. So Robert, myself, you, and your team have been working on something extraordinary special. It feels like for a year. When did we first have this conversation?
I think it's been a year and a half. Robert, do you remember?
I do. Lance, we started this conversation, you and I, last March, so pretty much exactly a year ago. I remember I was sitting on the couch in my office when I was in Carlsbad, and we were having a great conversation about nutrition and health, and you and I can go really deep and far on this because it's a passion for both of us. So, yeah, it's been a process.
Yes, absolutely. Lewis, do you want to announce it, or do you want to share?
Let Robert announce it because it's
okay.
pretty awesome. He's done a great job with you, and maybe after we announce it, I'll announce the special part for we the people also that's attached to this. But it's really cool.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I think, Lewis, I think we can both bring some heat here because there's a lot to what we've been discussing. We've been looking for a way to help Lance, number one, support his company. Why? Because we not only believe and love Lance and believe what he's about. When you meet him in person, you can see the heart. The heart comes first with him. And you can tell behind that there's a lot of intelligence and an incredible passion for really bringing forth the best of the best. So Lance doesn't do, hey, let's do a vitamin C supplement and just go have somebody package it and send it out and puts his label on it and here you go. And too many companies do that. Well, what's the quality of that vitamin C? He'll start to ask those questions, right? Okay, what's the source? How is it produced? How is it extracted? How is it? And he could research something for months before bringing it on the market. So what I was most impressed with that is, I've been in the natural health business in that world since literally 1995. So it's been a big thing in my world as well. And when you hear the story of how he comes up with products and how much he researches and how deep he digs, you go, whoa. I don't know that the other companies don't do that, but I know there are very few that do that. And I've been in the nutraceutical business before. I've worked as a consultant with several companies, and I kind of know their process. And some of the things they do behind the scenes would turn your stomach. Not Lance. Everything that he does is top notch. So we wanted to figure out, okay, how do we bring these products to all of you in a way that makes sense, number one, and number two, allows you to earn points and be able to even profit from it if you wanted to share these products with your friends and family as well. Not network marketing, not kind of that kind of thing, not pressuring you into doing something you don't want to do, not charging you monthly fees, not any of that kind of thing. So this was the start of our conversation last year was exactly that. Is how do we do it? It took a year to find software that will allow us to do this. So we finally got it. We're real excited about it. This is kind of the launch of this whole new project that we've been hoping to launch earlier. But, we literally, and Lance, you can attest to this, we literally went to the software developer and had him redesign some aspects of the software to make it work the way we wanted to. Because oftentimes you'll find software and it'll just go, well, this is the way the program needs to work. No, we don't want that. We want something that's a little bit more fair for everybody. So I'm excited to be working with you, Lance. I'm excited to, share these products, so many products. And it always seems there's something new coming down the pipeline as well. And products that actually work. And I can attest to that. I've used several of the products and it makes a difference. Why? Because it's got the real stuff in it. So we're excited to bring that. And we're going to go into the details. Don't worry. I'm just kind of giving you an overview, sharing the excitement, the passion. It's like, yeah, let's get this out. And Lance, you could feel that as well with us.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Robert. Sorry, were you going to go?
No, it's for us. It's all you for now.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Robert. And thank you, Lewis. Truly. I really mean that. You guys know that. Yeah, this really has been a long time in the making, and it's not been easy. Like you guys know, this has been a challenge in different ways, but finally we're there, and I'm truly so grateful for you guys that you've stuck with me and with us throughout all this time, and that we're now here to be able to do this because we are going to help a lot of people with these things. And yeah, we do have new products coming down the road. I'm not going to lead on just yet. Once it's 100% confirmed, then I will, but I'll tell you that they're exciting things and they're outside of what you would consider supplements, things that are important for everyone and can impact everyone, including pets too.
Ooh. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And Lance, we went through several software redos, and I know we were a big pain, but it was because there's something that we were looking for. And one thing we're really looking for, and this is what I think is really cool, is we wanted to figure out how we, the people, can benefit from this other than just taking the wonderful product, and so what we came up with is an idea where if you purchase or even at a higher level, if you recommend a link, and you would have your own link, by the way, this is free. There's no charge for this. If you will have a link that you'll recommend it, guess what? You get bonus points, rewards points. So in essence, you can end up getting this amazing product for free. So if there's a financial consideration that you have, you still have an opportunity to get this. And that was our objective, is how can we give to we the people? How do we make this an even playing field and help everybody out and not charge them a monthly, which is hard. Trust me, it is very hard. Lance is putting his neck on the line because he believes so much in what Robert and I have created here. And of course, in his own beautiful business here. So we're very excited to launch this. So we'll introduce a link today. And this is a short-term link, or we're going to be changing things in the next week, but the link will work continuously. We'll introduce that today, and you'll be able to get any product from Ascent Nutrition that I'm going to have Lance talk about a couple today, and maybe I'll convince him to give away something for free. I know I love putting him on the spot. And in addition to that, when you go there, you have an opportunity to become a member for free, guys. This is not a monetary thing that Robert and I are getting when you become a member for free. We get nothing out of it, right? Now, but when you support and send this link out all over the place, you're going to end up getting free product. which I think is pretty cool opportunity for everybody. So this is a win, 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 and that's the way we like to do things. It took a long time to get here. Lance was so patient with us because it was like, well, how about this change and how about this change? And oops, goes through months trying to do it on the software company. We come up with something and the software's like, can't do that. Scrap that one. Let's go to the next one. So Lance, I really appreciate how patient you were with us in regards to this. Let's really quick. Let's talk about your berberine because Leyla was talking about that. I talked about it. You were talking about that. My wife just loves the berberine. What do you think about your own product?
I love it. I take it myself, and I take, we've got 20 products, so I can't say that I take every single product every day. I'd be lying to you if I said that. I don't. But there are a good 6 to 7 products that I'm taking almost every day. I myself will cycle on and off of things. That's the smartest thing to do. Like Leyla can explain more about that as well. But you don't want to take something every single day, every day of the year. Like the body needs breaks.
Right. Let me stop you really quick. This guy should give you a direct link into Lance's soul. What supplement company tells you cycle off our products on and off, switch up different products in there, right? Knowing that it's going to hurt their bottom line. Because I've studied this actually, Lance. You didn't even know this, and I was shocked to find out that you really shouldn't take the same supplement every single day. There's some that you can, but mainly you can't. It's not a great idea. You need to cycle off. Your body then reacts even better to it when you put it back on, and so just the fact that you said that just gives me even more respect for you. Continue.
Thank you, Lewis. So, the berberine. So we've got bitter melon in it as well, and that's another herb that is commonly used, especially in Ayurveda, for blood sugar management and helping with that, like the insulin spikes. So it's berberine and bitter melon, and I take that in the morning on a fast, and I will typically combine that with a few different things. I'll combine it with the organic Ceylon cinnamon, that's also known to be really good for helping blood sugar, and I'm going to kind of tie this all into blood sugar because there's a very important points with this. I'll also stack it with the humic and fulvic acid.
Oh, wait. Love, my wife is in here. Her favorite product of all time is your humic and fulvic acid. She told me today, you better talk about that. So that's so funny.
Awesome.
By the way, no offense, but she calls them dirt pills.
Yes, they are. They are. I love it. And that's a compliment. I love it because I think it's like a backhand towards the pharmaceutical industry, honestly, and I really mean that because they're the intellectual elites, many of them, not all, and they would say, "Oh, dirt, the earth, you're getting this stuff from the earth, you're insane. You're eating dirt. Oh, okay, keep doing that, you wacko." But that stuff is literally nature's highest free radical scavenger, the fulvic acid. That's an antioxidant. So the humic and fulvic, it's doing so many things. And I'm actually going to read a review from this lady that's super important for these times right now on heavy metal detox. But kind of going back, I'll take the berberine, I'll take the Ceylon cinnamon, the humic and fulvic, and then I'll typically take the lemon algae oil DHA on a fast. You can do it off of a fast, it's no problem, but I'll take it in the morning because I do like intermittent fasting, and it does help with blood sugar management, and it does help with brain health and focus. Like we all know, we've done this where you're on a fast, whether it's intentional or not. If you're fasted for 18 hours, typically, as long as you're not sick, you're going to have a higher state of cognition. You just generally feel sharper. Like where do you feel sharper? When you're on a fast or if you just had a huge meal? Mm-hmm. We all know the answer. So I'll do it in the morning as a way to speed up my metabolism, manage my blood sugar, because when the blood sugar and the insulin spikes, then if we're eating carbs or eating some different foods, then we're storing, or we're most likely typically going to be storing those carbs as fat. And so, I want to stay metabolically active and, stay fit and stay healthy. and managing the blood sugar is one of the most foundational ways to actually affect your health across everything. That's why Natural Grocers, that company that I worked for, as a health coach, they educated us massively on the importance of managing your blood sugar, because so many different things can fluctuate or be manipulated based on what's happening with your blood sugar. Maybe Leyla can add some information on that.
She's thinking about her comedy show tonight.
I kind of didn't quite get that at the end. It kind of cut out, but you were talking about how to fluctuate the blood sugar. I'm sorry, I kind of missed it a little bit.
Yeah, no worries, Leyla. I was just talking about combining a few of the things on that I take and why managing your blood sugar is so important just for overall health.
Oh, right. And I mean, even like the fasting you're saying is so important too. People do really great on that. But yeah, blood sugar is, I don't know what to say. It's like super important, right? We have to have it good. If you have the long-term blood sugar, it's like your blood vessels are almost congested, right? The circulation is affected and all kinds of problems. So your products and intermittent fasting are awesome. And like you said, it's so much easier to help than people realize when they're sick on it for years. And I just want to say, we haven't had any classes in pharmacy school on how to tell which products are pure. You know what I mean? Like they don't want us to know that information, right? So I always think it's hard to know which company. So it's really awesome that you know your stuff so in depth and they're putting you in the light and sharing it, because I don't think, if you go ask a pharmacist what's a pure product, we're not going to know unless we learn on our own. So,
yep, that's beautiful. Lance, I'm going to give you a chance to contemplate what you're going to give our audience. Love putting you on the spot. And Dr. Leyla, what was your inspiration for the re-prescribing program that you're offering, and where do you expect it to go, or where do you want it to go? Because we're going to help you manifest that. That's why I'm saying.
Oh, great. I do. Honestly, I think it can be the start of a new healthcare system where people are like the American Diabetes, these big companies and the FDA, once people understand what they're doing, then, so we're all working to kind of expose them and start kind of thinking for ourselves and understanding how they've been brainwashing everybody, the healthcare practitioners, the patients, and to kind of create a new system where people are empowered to heal. Because once you're in that system, you're going to be sick forever. You're going to be on the meds, and you're listening to the doctor who's the authority on health. And this is one where we take it back into our own hands, So
yep. Beautiful. Okay, Lance, what are you going to give our audience?
Let's give a berberine and a humic and fulvic acid.
Very
both
cool.
of them.
Okay, so I have a number here, guys. First one. Okay, if within the first 5 minutes, we're going to watch. If anybody gets it directly, you get one guess from 1 to 100, what number I have written down right here. If you get it, if you're the closest within 5 minutes, you get it. If you guess twice, you're eliminated from this immediately. If you guess it, if you're the first person to guess it exactly, then you win berberine and humic and fulvic acid. Go. All right. So while they're doing that, Lance, is there any particular product that you want to talk about other than berberine and humic fulvic acid, or anything else that you're doing?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, already there's a winner. What the hell? Oh, Unicorn 77 got it because it's 77. Good job, Unicorn 77. Email me at screwbiggov@protonmail.com. By the way, I know there's some other prizes from another show. Those will be going out shortly also. I now have somebody wonderful and close to me that is going through my emails. So Unicorn 77 is already won, guys. Sorry. Good job, though. So go ahead, Lance.
Lewis, you mind if I share screen?
You have to pay for that.
Okay, I got $5 coming at the end of the show.
Oh, I was going to ask for the lemon DHEA, but that's fine.
We'll definitely send some out, Lewis.
I mean the aloe. Okay, all right, here we go. It's Robert. He's ready to share.
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, awesome. Can you guys see this screen?
Yes,
sir.
we can.
Okay. I'll make this very quick, but they're important points and it ties all this together. So, the fulvic acid, like I shared, it's nature's highest antioxidant, and it's a very powerful electrolyte. And there's information out there talking about 14 tetratrillion electrons for the humic or for the fulvic acid, and so it's like a little mini battery where it's like giving a trickle charge to the mitochondria. It's giving electrons to the cells, quite literally. What we do and how we differentiate is our particle size is 20 times smaller than the average. And so we get theoretically better absorption. And I say theoretically because I can't prove that in a human study. We haven't done that per se, but just common sense wise, that's where it leads to. Of course, it's dirt. It's from the earth. It's from the soil, but it is extracted in a way where it's pure and clean. We don't use chemicals to extract or anything like that. Solvents. Done the right way. I talked about how this helps the gut and detox. Humic acid is like a prebiotic, but it's also very strong antiviral, antibacterial. And so it helps the gut in those different ways. And you can see, I'm not going to go through all these, but I do want to just mention a couple. This person, fatigue, brain health, and then GI issues. So this person had, and there's a lot of reviews on here around the GI issues, gut health. This person said that they felt around 90% better taking the humic and fulvic. Okay, so there's one other review that I want to read, or I'll share, but I'm going to talk about the gut health thing just very, very briefly. So when I was a health coach, the number one thing always that I would suggest to people, basically regardless of what was going on, was the humic and fulvic acid. And remember, I didn't have a company at that time, so I was recommending other people's products. And so I took that knowledge and I knew, okay, this stuff works so well, it's working for me, it still works for me, that I wanted to create a product for it and give it to people because it is therapeutic and does help people. So that's what we've got. And gut health was always the biggest thing that people would come in for. 7 out of the 10 people that would come in, always GI related issues. Other things going on too, but always around the gut. Humic and fulvic would typically help people, very quickly. And even if it was in a small way, like I never had anyone come in and say, hey, it didn't work and it didn't help. They'd say, I feel something at minimum. Or people would say, hey, I actually feel a dramatic difference. So that's part of why I wanted to bring that out. But lastly on that, we had a lady leave a review. She had psoriasis on her skin for 30 years on her back. She took the humic and fulvic, 1 bottle, and after the 1 bottle, or like during she was getting towards the end of it, the psoriasis it started to dry up and peel off of her skin and completely flaked off. She treated her own psoriasis and it completely went away. Now, this is an anomaly situation. Not everyone's going to have that sort of dramatic effect, but it does happen. And as a kicker, she used a magnet before taking this and placed it on her chest and torso, and the magnet would stick. After the bottle, she did the same thing in the same areas. The bottle or the magnet did not stick. So it chelates heavy metals and it pulls it out. And so she was a living testimony, anecdotally, to those effects.
Are you saying this can help with graphene oxide, or are you just hinting at that?
No, it can. And in fact, you can look up on PubMed that humic and fulvic do interact with graphene, interacts with mercury, lead, cadmium, those major ones. Graphene oxide for sure. You can,
Like a must to me.
yes, absolutely. And you know this, Lewis and Robert, like we talked about this. This is one of the main reasons that I wanted to bring this out. Like when I learned about humic and fulvic, I literally swore to myself and to God that I would do everything I could to get this medicine out to the world because I knew what it was doing. And I knew what it was doing for me. And I read, a lot of different reports from doctors and things like that on what humic and fulvic could do. And so it is a gift from God to the earth. It is of the earth, from the earth, and it is, meant for us. And pets benefit from it as well.
Absolutely beautiful. Hey, Leyla, we're closing out here. I hate to say last words to a comedian because I don't know where that's going to go, but any last words?
No, I mean, I talked to Lance about his products before, so I'm just really grateful to, I mean, hear it again and again. I have some of the products that I've been taking, and I think it is awesome to have someone. That's the only way to know is to talk to people that really have pride in their products and want the best thing. So, I think it's really amazing you're putting them in your circle and spreading the word on this. So,
Well, it's nice to have two geniuses be my earmuffs on the show, as you can see. You got to
yeah.
make me look smarter, or does it? Or does it make me look even dumber than I am? I don't know.
Well,
Um,
I share the limitations of pharmacists a lot, So,
folks, you can find Dr. Leyla Ali at DrLeylaAli.com, right? And I'm assuming we can.
you've been
The
diagnosed,
cancer book will be second, off balance will be first.
right?
Oh my God. Oh my God. What? Okay, there's something's wrong here. I'm going to disqualify this person, and I'm going to send an extra book.
The Matrix is broken, Lewis. You broke the
You didn't
Matrix.
take the same number, did you?
No, the first person, Denise Vrobrak, got the number. And she knows my wife. So the first thing I did, I said, "Did you text her?" Okay, Denise, you got it. So you're going to get off balance. That's awesome. Wow.
What was the number, Lewis?
Oh, it's 55. Sorry, 55. And next up, there's one more with your numbers, and we're going to give that away also. That was incredible. Man, I'll tell you, that symbiotic relationship with the audience is intact today. That is pretty awesome. So while we're waiting for another number, Lance, for a winner, let's actually, Robert, you're going to be best probably to describe where they can find Lance's link right now, right, and put it on the screen, and then give them maybe an idea of what's to come, because I think it's pretty exciting for us.
Yeah, the link is in the description of the video, and it's the same link for whatever channel you're watching today, because we're only on 2 channels today. And if you want a short link, we made one real quick here. Link2.media/health is where you can go. And I will put that
Winner,
on
we have a winner. Hold on, Robert.
Hang
Sorry
on.
to interrupt. Reason number 13 at screwbiggov@protonmail.com. Give me your address. Yes, Carol, I will find a way to get it to Costa Rica. So give me your address, and we will send you those books.
I love it.
All right, go ahead, Robert.
I love it. I'm just finagling here a little bit, and I'm going to put this up here so you could see it. There it is. Link2.media/health will take you right there. It's a longer link, and we're going to have a domain, an official domain, probably by next week. But for today, that one will take you there. It'll just redirect you there. Link2.media/health. That will be the link for today.
Absolutely beautiful. And for you, sir, Lance, any last words?
I just want to thank both you guys, and of course Leyla as well. Lewis and Robert, thank you guys truly for what you guys have done and do for we the people and for the world. And, for me, what you guys have done for me, being friends and supporters, and have stood by me and by Ascent Nutrition this whole time. There's been, different things that have happened where people come and go, and it's all good. There's, it's just part of life and what happens. But you guys have been rocks, and actually, have stood by your word and shown me with actions that you mean what you say. And that, as we know, is the most important, because a lot of people talk and not many people walk.
Yep, I appreciate that, Lance, and I do really appreciate that. All right, so for my beautiful co-host, Robert Ambrielli, for our lovely guest, Lance Shuttler, and the genius comedian herself, Dr. Leyla Ali, we bid you good night.